And you yourself mentioned that it is not picking up studies from abroad. So there is a fault line, sir. So you must not trust it blindly.
So, thank you.
So I have a question
Yes,
uh,
yes, ma'am.
regarding what percent of AI is basically ethical? Like, as you said, that we should declare that what percent or how we have used the AI, but what
Yes,
percent is right? Because we sometimes use for the summarization or the grammatical, all it comes under the AI.
yes,
So,
ma'am.
from your experience, what do you suggest? What percent should be there?
Like I mentioned, ma'am, it's 30% up to 30%. The similarity index is permitted in the doctoral dissertations and postdoctoral dissertation reports. So we can like situate ourselves like beneath that cap. Like we can go until the similarity of 28, 29%, not 30% for that matter per se. And for the research papers, it is permissible around 10%. The similarity index, we have to still focus on the similarity index, not on the AI percentage. Like it is this much similar on that much similar. No, we have to like adhere to the guidelines we have intact right from the APA and the MLA and that guideline, whichever guidelines we are following. I personally follow APA guidelines, so they have kept 10%. So 10% similarity is allowed. 10% plagiarism is not allowed. There's a difference between the two. So we cannot allow plagiarism. It is not allowed at all.
Yeah,
What?
now Turnitin gives a very good report about the AI writing
Yeah,
detection
yeah.
separately and the plague
Yes,
is separately.
yes,
So that is
yes, ma'am.
very
So,
useful.
so for the research paper, ma'am, my answer would be like below 10%. Similarity index is allowed, not the plagiarism. Plagiarism is a crime, is an academic crime, and this is not of like high integrity. This is not a characteristic or hallmark of high integrity. So plagiarism is not allowed. Similarity index is allowed. That too under 10% for the research papers.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
sir, in today's scenario, can academic writing be done without AI?
Yes, sir, we can. We can do that because we have like I mentioned, Kanazawa's theory of happiness. So in your discipline, sir, like I mentioned earlier, the journalism used to be field reporting was journalism, and going to war front was journalism. So we can come up with novel ideas if we become a parasite on something. Like we become academic leeches and academic parasites, and we suck blood of this AI thing. So our own noble ideas, our own creativity will die a silent death. So we'll stop. There's a this process. This phenomena of classical conditioning psychology we teach and we learn out of that. That is part of learning process, the classical conditioning phenomena. So while we are using AI repetitively for generating ideas, getting suggestions, like I mentioned, somewhere in a manner, in some way, we are conditioning ourselves to whenever there is a stimulus for thinking, we look towards AI. So for that stimulus, the response is AI. And in that matter, we'll classically condition ourselves. So we will lose our strength to think in a creative manner. And we would, I'm afraid we might lose our will to innovate, our power to innovate. So we must not rely on that. We can have suggestions so that we could reflect more, we could reflect further on those suggestions, but we cannot rely and we cannot just like look towards AI. Oh, what do you say? Because AI is just a tool. It's not Dr. Dubey, it's not Dr. Hassan for that matter.
Is there any institutional guideline for using AI?
Sir, I think the universities are coming up with it. They're in their IQAC and in their innovation councils. They are mentioning, they are clarifying the guidelines for the use of generative AI. But your FDP, I must applaud your initiative in this discipline. This has sparked a very important discussion that we must establish this academic integrity cells at university levels, which should be checking up the AI usage in the academic writings. because mixing up something which does not belong to an author is a crime in academic integrity, on the grounds of academic integrity. So my suggestions, if they're not already those kind of cells or those kind of forums working, you can initiate this thing that some academic integrity cells should be made, which could check the usage of generative AI in the writings, of thesis, reports, projects, and research papers. So, yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
any question, please ask your question. Any participant? We have some question in chat box. Please share, verifies. Eklavya asked one question, said, tell me 5 to 10 points for best writing skills. So, sir, can you summarize in 5 to 10 for best writing skills?
Best writing skill. Yeah, okay, sir. 5 to 10 points. First, sir, if you have any idea, let's say um, if you have any of the wildest idea in your mind, like you wish to research on, let's say the use of mm, audiovisual audiovisual aid in a classroom. So if you wish to check the learning curve or the learning process, and making use of some learning strategies there, and you wish to check of these days in the NEP program, NEP 2020 has this guideline for slow and fast learners, right? So you can do a pre-test and post-test analysis of that kind of the learning process of students or pupils in a classroom, where you can check the classroom teaching with the use of audiovisual aids and without the use of audiovisual aids. Like we still have the duster and whiteboards and these pens in the classroom, and you can use the smart TV digital boards. We still have that thing. We like it is coming up in every institution, so we can like do a study if you happen to study that kind of situation. So start reading papers about that. So what work has been done along those lines. So you could be like
That means
multiplying your
reading
ideas
patterns.
in that matter. You will be multiplying your ideas. You will have more and more ideas on basis of your own first hand experience of reading a research paper. So that would enable you to reflect more on the same topic, and you would be filled up more ideas, and you can like make short notes whenever you are reading papers. You just go through the abstract and look at the points they have made in the conclusions, and you can jot down those conclusions. And if you're read for the matter like 20 papers, you have 20 points there. Like find a link, find a theme across those conclusions, and you would come up with new ideas. And I give you my word for that, you will come up with new ideas. And when you come up with new ideas, you end up getting new ideas for your research. You are having some ideas prior to like starting that research study of yours. So with clubbing those two together, you will end up in a novel research. And for that, you may have further research literature review, and consult these databases which are paid. You might have come across these databases when they ask you for making the payments. So that is not just a disclaimer that you have to make payment and you have to avoid. Get into those databases, acquire access to those databases like Harvard, Stanford, Cambridge, Oxford databases, like the databases which are mentioned in Emerald, in Elsevier, in Palgrave. Just do there's no need to pay from your own pocket, but you can get membership of the libraries which provide you access through those databases, and you can access those paid journals. So in that case, you would be like clubbing your own ideas, your suggestions, the observations you have made through reading abstracts, and then clubbing it with the new researchers, like the research which for example, some research was done yesterday in Harvard. So you can access that through libraries and other institutions, and clubbing it with your own like notion for research, you can come up with like innovative researches and make marvelous, magnificent researches of yours. So jot